All right. Testing. Can you hear me all right? Let's take a vote. Who's ready to start? All right. Yay, majority wins. All right. Welcome to this afternoon's presentation called Be a Super Digital Citizen. And flat out, anyone can be a super digital citizen hero. There's a little superhero in all of us. I just have to give us this little superhero hype. Embrace your inner superhero. And so now I will eventually get to super digital citizenship, but as an icebreaker, give a shout out of if you could pick any superhero, what superhero would you be? Batman. Wonder Woman. Superhero.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. All right. I have two sons. One is 4 years old. His name is Jacob. And I have a 6-year-old son, Levi. And of course, they like the Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. But my 4-year-old, of all things, when you ask him, what would you like to be for a superhero, he declares Navy SEAL. Impressive. What insight to that. Of course, my husband and I have exposed our boys to the Navy SEALs thanks to John Tummelson, Navy SEAL from Rockford, Iowa, that was killed almost 4 years ago, along with some other SEALs on that same extortion. And so with that exposure, I think is where he's getting this Navy SEAL aspiration. So my name is Sarah Stout, and this is my 8th year in Mason City School District. With that, this is my first year as the K-12 teacher librarian for 8 buildings. And so it's a daunting challenge, but at the same time, I'm excited to see it from a K-12 perspective and to think I can impact that many more staff and students, particularly in the area of super digital citizen. But we'll see how the journey goes. So far, it's the beginning of the year, and everyone's still fresh and excited, and I hope we can continue on that journey. So today, learning targets, we all hear about them, and I just want to make sure when you walk away with this, that you have gained some information that you could take back to your classrooms, libraries, buildings, districts. This is the best. I love Chrissy Vensdale, I hope I say that correctly, through Venspired, and this is the best. She does graphics, does great quotes. Anyways, I am a digital citizen. Every day I'm building my digital footprint. I think before I share, my comments posted online are meaningful and respectful. I give the right kind of credit to sources. When I think about that particular snippet, I think of Christina Peters, who I believe is on a plane right now, but she yesterday was here talking about that, and I always keep my password safe. If anything, today I just want you to leave with this inspiration that, you know what, I can go back to my building and I can teach about digital citizen. I can use these type of things to share with the students, and you have all these learning targets. So the very first thing is I'm going to be, throughout this presentation, having some videos, and I want to use today's Meet as an interactive tool. And I realize we've got Twitter and shared docs, and I apologize for one more thing, but I was looking for an interactive tool, and today's Meet is a great one. And so I'll give you a few minutes. Down at the bottom, I have the website address, and you have to type it in exactly as today'smeet.com. Oh, you do have to put the HTTPS in there, by the way. And if you're on my presentation, you can just click on the link and it'll take you over to that. today'smeet.com/digital citizenship iTech. And before you answer this question, I'll even flip to it. And the address will be up here at the top in case you're like, what? So today, https://today'smeet.com/digital citizenship iTech. So in a little bit, I'll be sharing that I've actually given a presentation to IJ students. It's a special program in Mason City High School. And we used today's meet, during the presentation. Number one thing with today's meet, you've got to establish no nicknames. I have students right in my face trying to oh, I want to put a nickname, it says nickname. No, establish with your kids if you should use todaysmeet.com, first name only, last name only, because then you're going to get into some inappropriateness, which ironically, we're talking about digital citizenship. So if you could please put your name, and let's just put a little shout out, hello, and we'll start seeing a feed go through. Everybody can put a greeting. Ooh. Oh, Lisa, you wanted nicknames, didn't you, Lisa? Okay. Hey, hello, awesome. I better. So there we go. We got a little feed going. So, oh yay, hi Sarah, thanks Elizabeth. Okay, so I'm gonna flip back to the presentation, and we're gonna watch a video, and I would like you to answer this question on today's meet as we are watching the video. What is digital citizenship, and how does it affect you? It's amazing, if you don't establish that definition of what is digital citizenship, kids have different ideas, and so by establishing what is it and giving a common definition to it, I think it gives it a commonality or a common understanding. So I'm going to flip to the video. And let's cross our fingers the that loads better than in the morning. Use today's meet also to, if you see an aha, type it into that. It almost goes way too fast, but when you think about this, the one statistic that really was mind-boggling to me is the YouTube. 100 hours uploaded every 4 minutes. What do you think about that? I don't know about you, but I read that and I was like, wow. But in a minute I'm going to talk about iJAG. But I want to highlight this. iJAG is a program that gets kids ready for employability skills like beyond high school. Incredible program. Jeremy White is the head of it and does amazing work. So I came in to talk about digital citizenship, digital footprint, and this was a big aha to a lot of these 9th through 12th graders. When someone writes, OMG, I hate my job, my boss is a total B, just that alone, the kids begged me, stop that, we want to see that. Did someone really put that? And I said, okay, so what's that? If someone posts that, what does that say? And what rich conversation came from that? And the kids get it. They know what's going on. And it was just a colorful conversation. Of course, one kid was going to argue me till the day he died that, well, I can put whatever I want, freedom of speech. And it was like a cutthroat, like I said to him, you could put that, but you're not going to have a job. And so finally, thankfully, Jeremy White told the kid to stop it. Stop arguing with her, you know. You're not going to win, is what he told them. So anyways, I just have to highlight that right there. If you pause a video with any student and share that, you are going to get colorful conversations. Oh, someone wanted the link, you got the link. Oh, go Cubs. Oh my gosh, so that is so off topic, and that's what your students can do, and I found that out the hard way. Anyways, we'll go back to that Cubs concept in a minute. I have a story to share in a little bit, okay? Let's see, understanding how what we say in quotes will be seen by others, using common courtesy online. Thank you. Let's see, too bad the young woman who posted a video of her drunk driving didn't think about that when she was later arrested. Okay. Let's see, what do you mean by that, Nancy?
That happened this morning.
Oh.
She had what, Periscope?
Mm-hmm.
She was videotaping herself. I'm driving drunk, and she posted it to YouTube. Cops saw it, went and arrested her. It was really stupid.
Yes, just this morning. Wow. So back on top, I mean, it's something like that, the power of what this can do. Digital citizenship is how to use, view, and apply digital resources with respect. There's some great tweets that you can grab that show students using positive, negative. That's right. Thank you, Lynn. So, like I like to use today's meet to flip back and read comments and validate the students. And so that's what I'm trying to model throughout this presentation as well. So I'm going to go back and there we go. And toward the beginning of my presentation does have a few videos, but I really think by establishing with videos, the kids see these and they don't view it as Mrs. Stout is lecturing and hammering it and beating it to death. A video, they're captured by videos. They just like suck it in and it's media to them, it's YouTube. And so that's why I'm presenting to you the videos, which I highly encourage that you to use for your own use with students. But with today's meet, while we're watching this video, the target question I would like to focus on is what are some ways to be a digital citizen? And good thing we got the Cubs thing out of the way, although I will agree to say that was a great game last night. Powtoon, who uses Powtoon? Okay, so I did not create this, but I will give a shout out of Powtoon is something that you could have your own students, which I'll talk about later. They could use Powtoon in itself to promote digital citizenship and give presentations to their own peers about how to be safe online. Be a good digital citizenship by thinking before you post. If I had to pick one thing, that was definitely a repeat statement made throughout my recent presentations of 8 periods to different IJs classrooms. And so that really hit home with them. I'm glad to see that they got it. Ooh, I like this one. Mindy, Mr. Badur, I hope I don't botch the name, calls it a digital tattoo instead of a digital footprint because it doesn't go away. Absolutely. Using, not only establishing the definition of digital citizenship, but using the word digital footprint, digital tattoo, they get it, and I think the tattoo really sticks because they're thinking, oh my gosh, it's forever. And in fact, one girl, I didn't want to scare them because I love social media and I'm going to be a promoter of it, but I did have one girl at the end of her presentation say, I might not use social media at all. And it's because she's a very opinionated high schooler and she's like, oh boy, I've put some things on there I think I better rethink. So maybe that was a big aha moment for her. I encouraged her to continue to use social media, but to think twice because of that digital footprint, that digital tattoo. I certainly did not want to scare her. Teachers of students of all ages need to be aware that they need to be good models. Absolutely. If we're here to promote it to our students, before we, you should do this, you should do that, of course, we should be modeling it ourselves. And IJ right now is like fresh in my mind. And with the kids, they ask me, can we friend you on Facebook if you're a social media guru? And right now, I've established a boundary. I don't friend the students on Facebook. Twitter, they can because I use that completely educational. Facebook is more my personal life. My 2 sons, they don't need to know about that, I guess. I mean, I share about my boys, but I want to separate the two. And I also think Facebook, there's just, I don't know. It's a rule of mine. I flat out told them I'm not going to friend you on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, and we can learn as educator and student in that aspect. So, look at use of social media as a way to positively brand yourself, just what Mr. Eric said this afternoon, or for the keynote, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go back, and I can show you another video, but I think I'm going to move on. Okay, so I want to, we can continue to use today's meet to jot whatever you pick up from this presentation, use Twitter, but this statement right here, it really makes me sit and ponder, something to think about. Our kids are growing up on a digital playground and no one is on recess duty. Kevin Honeycutt, by the way, he's a great person to follow on Twitter. When you read that type of statement, what comes to your mind? What do you think when you read that? Any shout outs?
I think about all the problems that kids have at recess. So if no one's there to watch them, who can they go to?
Mhm. When I read that, I think, oh my gosh, if they're getting in trouble and no one's guiding them, it just gets into worse trouble. So why not make it our job just to integrate into what we already do and add those little snippets of digital citizenship and how to be safe, smart online. Okay, so I've given you a little snippet of IJ, the end result of my current experience with it, but I have to go back and talk about my first 5 years of, first 5 of my 6 years when I did digital citizenship. It was simply one lesson taught at the end of the year because I was thinking they're going to go off to summer and they're going to be playing their video games and everything. It was just one lesson. 6th year, I was housed only at Harding, and I thought, you know what, this is not good enough. One lesson at the end of the year, is it really going to stick? Is it really worth it? So why not make it big? And so at Harding, I focused and I blew it up from September all the way to May, integrated it in, focused in it on National Digital Citizenship Week, and I feel like that was my takeoff year. At the time, I don't even think this is 2 years ago, the resources were not what they are today. It has come a long ways. And I think about, I had Snibbloos, and the kids watched videos, and I assigned them different videos to watch and projects to create, and we had class discussions. So it evolved from that one only lesson into throughout the year, just in one building. And then we also had quizzes. I did through Google Forms. I had to draw posters. I mean, that to me was like my breakout year of moving beyond that one lesson at the end of the year. Then the year that changed it all, last year. Clarity. Raise your hand if your district uses Clarity. Okay, that's what really took off, is our district decided, okay, it's time, we have to give Clarity, and we gathered all our data, and it was screaming, oh my gosh, it sparked a concern among the staff last year. And then, with it being my 7th year, I was in 3 buildings, Harding, Jefferson, and Lincoln. So taking the experience I had from the 1 year in one building, pushing it into 3 buildings last year, our numbers were terrible on Clarity, and I think it caused concern and guilt from our teachers saying, oh, I don't talk about digital citizenship at all. And so, National Digital Citizenship Week last year was October 19th through the 25th. Hey, it's this month that's coming up, so this is our chance. This is something we don't wait till the end of the year. Let's do it in October, make it a week-long event. So what I did after this Clarity survey, the staff, I'm hearing conversations like, oh, I feel guilty, I never teach this. I created a s'more, I provided resources. I said, okay, I'm gonna have a sign-up sheet, sign up for time slots. I'm in 3 different buildings, and have your kids come down, I'll show videos, I'll have a discussion, that type of thing. And so just you can also click on the s'more in your free time. And get an idea of how I use s'more as a promoter of, hey, this is our chance, to fill our. So throughout that, yeah, I did do the little poster. I could have done some high-tech things, but I also was, I think this is right after Peter Reynolds was saying sometimes at iTech, he said, sometimes you just need a paper and a pencil and let them draw. And so I decided, let's just keep it simple, and so the kids made posters at Jefferson, and they would watch the videos. I guess I was amazed at what they came up with. 6th graders, they came up with some awesome things at Lincoln. My favorite one was Olaf. She drew Olaf, and then she wrote, staying safe online is cool. And then Olaf is holding an iPad. And how clever is that? Using what they love and they're interested in and tying it in with the message. And there's just a great superhero one. just some great work that came from that. Of course, I was thinking, oh, I could have them go on to Google Draw and they could create something there, or put them on S'more and they could create a newsletter, or go to Canva and create an advertisement. Thought about all that, I'm like, no, we're just doing paper and pencil. Now, it's great to see those right in the moment products. What really hit me a week after Digital Citizenship, I get an email from a third grader. By the way, at that time they had just gotten their Google accounts, they're all excited. She emails me and says, thank you for that lesson. And she said, I have a cousin the other month that are within the time frame, was online and someone tried chatting, and she was giving me this scary situation with a stranger trying to lure her cousin. And she said, because of your digital citizenship, now I was able to go back to my cousin and say, you can't give your last name. And she's giving them all these rules. And right there, that's a lasting effect, is to know that she took that week-long celebration, tied it back into her own life, and shared something with her family member. Then, and I should have changed my date to this, is last year, right after Digital Citizenship Week, a fourth grade female at Jefferson hands me a flyer. She's like, we had free drawing time and I made this. And I'm going to talk about Yappy in a minute, but Yappy, hero to the rescue, don't give your Yappy away. And I thought that was clever. Here she still, a week later, is talking about Yappy. And I'm like, if that's one thing she got, then I'm hoping it reached many other people. Is those teachable moments. Okay, so new year, this year, new beginning, 8 buildings, how am I going to do it? And this email, Jeremy White and his co-teacher, Ava Gutierrez, they sent me an email wondering, hey, we're tired of battling our kids with put your phone away. Do you have any ideas of how to use your phone actively? Well, from that email, we met, we collaborated, and then Jeremy goes, hey, I want you to come into our classroom and talk about digital citizenship, digital footprint with our kids, because we want to get them ready for the next step after high school. We want them to have employability skills, and this is something they need to realize with the amount of social media they're using. So we met, and here's some pictures of, I taught 8 periods that day. And mind you, I come from an elementary side story. I come from an elementary background, obviously. I forgot high schoolers smell. I walked into the first class and it was like, woof, B.O. And I'm like, is that me? And I was reminded high schoolers, they smell. I don't know. And so then after IJ, that whole day of presentations, Jeremy White's awesome. Talk about tell your story. He sends emails all the time to our district about what IJ is doing, whether it's they're volunteering for a fundraiser for, like this past week we had a glow run, 5K, and he had students there volunteering. They have to put in so many volunteer hours. Anyways, he put this out. I was not expecting him to throw out a letter to the district or an article about it. And so he sent that, and since then I've had some colleagues go, oh, I saw you went to IJ and talked about it. When are you going to come to our classroom? I'm like, just wait. Digital citizenship is coming up, and I'll be promoting that with a new S'more and some new ideas being I'm in 8 buildings. But, you know, when Eric Schiniger said that people have this excuse of I don't have time, is there's people in my district, I hate to put them down, but they're like, I don't have time to read his articles. And I'm like, what? They're inspiring the impact his students are making on the community. And so I have to say, I'm gonna go back to Jeremy and say, thank you for telling your story and the story about your students. He probably sends out 2 to 3 articles a week, and I'm entertained by them, or I'm inspired. EverFi, if we were, I discovered 45-minute class periods, I ran out of time, but EverFi, I do have contact information in here, is a free website, and there's a contact, like I said, information, and they have classes set up for digital literacy, for financial literacy. You can type in, I see some heads nodding, do you use that?
I think we're going to begin using the digital citizenship one. Our high school uses it, there's a finance course. And so since we already have an account with them, I think we're going to start.
Okay, yeah. And so my idea was I had set up class accounts in EverFi, and I was going to have these IJ students start it, but we ran out of time. But I just wanted to show EverFi was part of my plan. And they each have class codes, and I was going to give it to them, and then they were going to follow through and complete the digital citizenship lesson from EverFi. It's free, and why it's free is our National Hockey Leagues Association. They want to provide it for free service, so they're investing in it, so we don't have to pay for it. And I don't know about you, but if it's free, it's for me, and why not? So in my slide, I encourage you to take a look at that. Digital footprint. Who's the person talking about digital tattoo? The student? So, give me some feedback, or when your teacher talks about digital.
It's not my teacher, it's Craig Bedora.
Okay.
And he was in, I think, a kindergarten classroom and said something to the kindergartners about a digital footprint, and one of the little boys said, yeah, but the league's just going to wash that away. And so he then kind of thought about it and changed it to digital tattoo because it's something that follows you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm. And since that conversation, have the kids then referred to it repeatedly? Or?
I don't know.
Okay.
He's just somebody that I follow, I guess. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, and Craig's brilliant, and I kind of took that same idea that communicating with my students about, I'd rather have you learn with me while it is a digital footprint that can be erased before it becomes tattooed, that's a permanent issue.
Great, great. Before I want to go back to, well, I'll just leave it at this slide. I want to go back to IJ. Okay, so the kids then started, they were trying to challenge, and that was good. They were challenging me on Snapchat. They're like, well, Snapchat deletes, it's never there. And I'm like, if the FBI want it, they can go get it. It's a written document. It's there. Anybody can search for it. And then they're like, oh, but if you screenshot it, it lets the other person know. And I said, who cares if it lets the person know? The fact is, you screenshotted it, And last night I got schooled a little bit in Snapchat, and so I'm a little sold more now. And now after Carl shared at the keynote opening, about how he had an education in Snapchat, I'm a little bit more sold. But these kids were just trying to fight me on it. And I said, that's fine, you have Snapchat, but it can be accessed. If someone really wants it, there's a database. They're going to get it. That was a powerful conversation we had. And I should have had the link to it. Period 5. Okay, there are staff members that don't want the devices in their classroom. They don't want social media. They don't want to use today's Meet because they're afraid of the Go Cubs conversations. And it blew up right in my face. Is period 5, I'm toggling between my videos and I'm giving them the targeted, focused question. And right when I'm watching the video, they're typing like, oh good, they're engaged. And Jeremy White was excited to see that. Flip back to today's Meet, and there's the link to some YouTube video. And it was totally off topic, and the kids were running with it. And I thought, wow, I'm teaching digital citizenship, and ironically, they're breaking every digital citizenship concept that we have just talked about. And so I'm here to say that it's blown up in my face. But then we stopped the presentation, and we just frankly said to them, that's not what we did. We gave you a targeted question. And Jeremy flat out said that is why teachers don't want to use their devices. That is why they don't want to go to Twitter. And you guys just now proved that teachers aren't going to want to do this. And so it was a great conversation. And then the next day, the kids emailed me an apology, and that was powerful in itself. But I just thought it was ironic. Boy, I'm talking about digital citizenship, and they're totally breaking every digital citizenship rule there is. So, Yappy. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Yappy. Okay, I think this is clever, catchy, it sticks with kids, obviously based on that poster I shared with you. Don't give out your yappy is a concept I started last year with the kids. It's your name, address, phone number, personal info, or password in your plans. It sticks with the kids, so I would recommend referring to don't give out your yappy. Digital footprint, here's a video. There's tons of videos if you really have time, but I try to save you time I'm not going to show these, but I hope that by coming back to my presentation, these are ones that will trigger interest and you can take that back and use it however you wish. TED Talk has an awesome digital footprint conversation. Now, once the kids learn, it's like, okay, great, they learned about it, but how do we know it's going to stick? Maybe during Digital Citizenship Week, you have the kids create word clouds and use the common language, whether it's Wordle, ABC, Tuxedo, visual beads, any of that type of stuff to make word clouds as evidence of learning. Maybe you want them to use a s'more, and by having it online, then transfer into a QR code. And from the QR code, then the kids can scan around the building and pop up a s'more newsletter to promote digital citizenship, maybe challenge them to come up with a catchy slogan. Canva, raise your hand if you've used Canva. I love the visual. And maybe they can make some kind of neat graphic design with digital citizenship. How-to, we talked about. Maybe they create, instead of like a Google presentation, they do a how-to and make it fun and catchy to promote what they've learned about digital citizenship. This one, I really thought this was a cool idea. I found it on a blog, Digital Footprint. But obviously with the footprint, that concept of it being waved away, so maybe have the kids create a digital tattoo. And maybe this tattoo on it has a slogan or a design or something. This checklist, I found this on Pinterest as well, is maybe you have a set of activities or give them choices and then they have to create this checklist and a self-reflection at the end of the week, and hopefully then that can transform into things throughout the year. So resources, I gotta give a shout out. Our AEAs across the state are incredible, and I bragged about it with Mr. Ben Feit and Alyssa Calhoun at our coding plugged and unplugged. But this poster right here, I saw the idea on Pinterest. I contacted our AEA 267 graphic design. I said, this is what I'm thinking. What could you do for a poster? They created it. And they now mass produce it, so if you want, contact our AEA 267 graphic design, and they're more than happy to print it. And it doesn't matter what AEA you're in, they will print it and send it to that AEA to get to you, or find a way to get it to you. But anyways, this poster, I have them posted in every single computer lab now across the district. Here's your hand if you've seen this idea. It's really now blown up. Curriculum map, if you're like, wow, I need to prove to the administration that I have this curriculum or it meets our ISTE Standard number 5. Here's one you can provide. I provided you. You can work from that template. Symbaloo. I love Symbaloo. Who uses Symbaloo? Awesome. It's a one-stop shop. So I've curated a bunch of websites that the kids can go and access, and I make that on our Harding or all the district student portals. That's Symbaloo's there, and I encourage kids, if they don't have something assigned by their teacher, go to the Digital Citizenship. And I think by making it available, that they're more likely like, ooh, I want to see what video, and I keep adding to it. So that kind of keeps that, what's Mrs. Stout added next kind of suspense. Pinterest. Who's a Pinterest lover out there? Now my sister-in-law brags that she pins, and she actually does it. I pin as a resource, and I don't do it all, but not to brag, but I have 17,000 pins and counting. And that just goes to show that, well, I do have a life, I have 2 sons, but I use it as a collaboration piece. A student, or excuse me, a teacher says, I'm studying similes and metaphors, what ideas do you have? I put a board and I send it to them, and then they can use that as their ideas. And so Pinterest is a great form of collaboration, and I just keep adding to it all the time. AEA, oh gosh, I can't stop bragging about the AEA. We are so lucky as a state. I'm finishing up my final grad class through Minnesota State University in Mankato, and when we have group discussions and I talk about our AEA, it's a foreign concept to them. And so I just get so excited and giddy, and I'm like, oh, we have the best AEAs. It doesn't matter which one you're at, they're all awesome, right? Raise your hands if you think they're awesome. Yeah, and I know there's quite a few people that work for the AEA in here that, of course, are going to raise their hand. But anyways, there's quite a few of the resources within that talk about digital citizenship. Shannon McClintock Miller has wrote her own books on digital citizenship, and I have those now housed in every library. Mac and Via, another great resource provided by our AEAs, and they have one focused entirely on cyber smarts. Social media resources to follow. Just today, as I was at lunch flipping through on my Facebook, Soggy's Cyber Kids, they had another resource. And by staying on top of my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, these type of pages provide those resources or new ideas to keep you fresh. Common Sense Media, they have a curriculum all in itself. That's a no-brainer. I would certainly tap into Common Sense Media. I see a lot of nodded heads.
I use it.
Do you use it? What are your experiences with Common Sense Media and their resources?
Their videos are good.
It's kind of nice to be, you can become certified, a certified educator through Common Sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You can be considered
Like
like
all the assessments are included.
right.
I used the Digital Passport, their gaming system, last year. I
Yep.
loved it.
Yes. Yes. And what I love about it is it's such a gaming aspect that they don't feel like you're shoving it down their throat. And that's my biggest thing is when I talk about digital citizenship, I don't want it to be like, you should do this, you should do that. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a free-flowing conversation that they don't feel like I'm waving my finger at them. More Common Sense Media. And then Digital Citizenship in Schools also has a Facebook page. And they send out resources, cartoons all the time. Mind Shift. I really like this as a resource for all types of education-related topics, but they do hit a lot on digital citizenship. ISTE, the obvious. iTech even does this. People to follow on Twitter, I have tagged them, so if you want to click on these icons. Jerry Bloomgartner, raise your hand if you've heard of Cyberman. He has a whole resource page on digital citizenship and great resources. Shannon's a big promoter of it. Leslie, probably Keene, are you in the room? I thought I was here at one point. I don't know. Anyways, she has Twitter. There's some hashtags to follow. EdTech always brings up things. DigCit. I always have to explain to the kids it's not DigCit. The IJ kids, I explain that to. Digital citizenship. So that's stuff you can follow on Twitter. But Leslie, she wrote a whole 6-series blog post just a year ago on citizenship, and she broke it down. It was interesting to read, and I still think it's something worth looking back at. Matt Gomez, that's where I had gotten the Kevin Honeycutt quote, and he also provides some more ideas of what to do with digital citizenship. Everfi, that's the contact information. I copy and paste my email, but this is the contact information to see how you can get a free account. I also provided you extra video clips if you think, oh, I like the one she used in her presentation. Here's some other ones I have found, and I just shared them at the end. My thinking behind this presentation was like, I want them to have takeaways. I don't want them to feel like, oh, she brags about how she's teaching digital citizenship. I want you to feel empowered to go back and teach it. Like I said, I started out with one lesson at the end of the school year. I didn't know how to teach it, what to teach, what to use. And so I want to give you those resources so you're empowered to go back and feel completely comfortable teaching it, having those conversations. Here's some more videos. I like this one. Students, they are seniors. They create this video that they share with all the underclassmen, and it's "We Trust You," and it's the seniors promoting digital citizenship to the underclassmen, giving the expectation, hey, we trust you, don't be stupid online. And I think that's empowering when peers are talking to each other and rather than the adult talking about it. More videos. So the final post, or what I read back last year, November 27th, is "We are thankful for all of you. It takes a village to empower children to make responsible choices with technology. In our district alone, that Clarity data says it. We need to work as a team to talk about digital citizenship." And I'm so glad we did that Clarity because it really sparked a conversation and team effort. And I don't know about you, but we're a team together. We should reach out to each other and give ideas and build off of this. I only think digital citizenship is going to get more and more resources, more and more ideas, and it takes us to be a team together. And, of course, we're going to end on a superhero note. Being a super digital citizen is better than being a superhero. And so I think we're all superheroes in our classrooms, and I certainly think we can be super digital citizens. And so with that, I'm going to open up. Are there any questions, any big takeaways, anything you're excited to try and go back and implement? Anything?